The Rough Drafts podcast is sponsored by Unicorn.com, the world's premier esport betting site. Log on today to bet on all your favorite esports titles at the simple click of a button. Choose your game, choose your team, earn unicoins, and who knows, maybe you'll earn enough to enter to win any number of fabulous prizes, such as Logitech peripherals or CSGO skins in their marketplace. Unicorn.com. Log on today.
Hello, Internet. This is Chase, RedShirtKing Wassenar. I am a free agent head coach and analyst, and welcome to the last day of our Guess the Lines Rough Drafts group stage podcast series. We are talking about Group B today. It is Sunday's games. We are so excited. We're actually recording this during the AHQ INTZ game on Friday. We are really enjoying this whole H2K revival series. And we're enjoying the fact that China is being China
No,
again.
I'm not.
No?
No.
Are we not enjoying that? And by
I'm
we, of course,
not.
I'm referring to my co-host, Walter Ceades, Fedczuk. How you doing, man?
I'm not doing great if EDG doesn't make it out of this group. I bet on them to win it all.
Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot I was supposed to care about your unicoins. I forgot about that for a second.
Hey,
hold on,
I mean, it was only 500 unicoins, but the payoff would have been like 23,000. So.
I mean, I understand. It's a good bet.
Teasers.
That was nice value there.
That was great value.
I will say that
SKT
Kelsey Moser
wouldn't have been any worse, so it wouldn't have been
fair.
much worse. It probably would have been like 10,000 unicoins, which now I kick myself in the shins.
Happened. Look, never bet against Faker. And also, when Kelsey Moser tweets EDG is not getting out of groups, that's when you get concerned as a Chinese fan. Because she would know what that looks like when EDG is collapsing in on itself. And the body language and everything else. There are no good vibes coming from the EDG.
I thought it was a counter
Chinese
jinx.
analyst game.
I thought it was them counter jinxing themselves. Like, okay, there's no way. Like, China's looking bad. They're gonna do the same thing they did last year. Like, that's what I do to TSM. But she's not a degenerate gambler like myself, and she actually speaks truthfully. So.
I think one of the things that separates us from other analysts is that we treat superstition like actual analysis. Which I think is an interesting way to do things.
Listen,
but yet, on
the
the
Cubs
hand,
are in the playoffs again. I don't think they're winning the World Series. Like there's a superstition. Like superstition exists for a reason, folks. Let's be honest.
It does. And let's be honest here. If we did not record during the Rocks Tigers Albus Knox in a game, Albus Knox doesn't win that game.
Exactly.
And we don't get treated to that amazingly disappointing tiebreaker. But we're not here to talk about those. We're talking about Group B. You can tell how excited we are to talk about Group B because of how many segues were going on before we've even started. It's an interesting group. I have to say, I was a lot less excited about it after doing Group D. Like, Group D has so many fun storylines and so many interesting ways this can go. Group B, I kind of feel like it goes one of two ways, and I feel like we're going to know within the first 3 games. Like once Cloud9 plays Flash Wolves, we will know who is getting out of the group and who isn't. And that's it makes things interesting. I will say this, from a gambler's perspective, these games get a lot more interesting because there's a lot of, how you feel about teams determines where people put their value on them. And this leads to our, to IMA versus Flash Wolves. It is the classic Chase versus Walter argument. At least it's been a classic so far this Worlds. How do we treat Flash Wolves heading into week 2?
I don't trust them.
Because you don't trust them.
I don't trust them. I wouldn't gamble on them at all. I'd literally take a 3-team teaser against them just to what am I supposed to do? They blew 2 games where they had massive leads going into 30 plus minutes.
It's true.
Granted, your counter argument is going to be, well, they had leads in all 3 of their games going into 30 minutes.
They did.
But that tells me something when they can't close, when they don't know how to close. And even against SKT, it was shaky. It wasn't
that's revisionist history. That was not shaky. That game
wasn't
was never in doubt.
It wasn't 100% confident if we're going to do this, and this. It was tentative. It was, oh God, I don't want to throw this game.
You weren't 100% confident in this. The gameplay was solid. They were not losing stupid kills. There were no picks that were happening. Flash Wolves executed that to perfection. They did not execute the other 2 games anywhere close to perfection. But the SKT game, they closed out. It was brilliant. We were just all on our hinges because we're like, oh God,
how are they going to
blow it? How are they going to screw this up for a third time? And that's the thing. This is the fun back and forth. And I understand, like, emotionally, I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. When I see 2 failed games like that, I care about the LMS. I like the Flash Wolves as a team. I want to see them successful. I have that bias within me because I really enjoy that roster. I enjoy the organization. I enjoy what they do. But when I see 2 losses like that, it is scary. It does make me say, like, do I want to put my faith in this team? And it's really hard to back up that faith when you have these 2 games that are so decidedly in hand. It's right there. Just grab it. Just take it. And they couldn't do it. But the question is that a systemic problem, or is that an outlier? And Malcolm Gladwell's written so much about outliers. I would love to go on a 3-hour spiel about outliers and all the different things that it means, but that would be boring to everyone involved, including probably myself by the end of it. But it's one of those things where when you talk about Flash Wolves this week and you talk about gambling this week, you have to make a decision. Do I think Flash Wolves are intrinsically bad at closing games? Or do I think that they had a bad 2 games that skew the sample size significantly against them? And there's nothing in their LMS play that says that they are bad at closing games. And even when you look internationally, Walter and I did the stats.
We spent an hour yesterday going over this.
Breaking down the stats. We went down so many different levels. We went down the rabbit hole to the point where even Tim Sevenhuisen from Oracle's Elixir was probably like, guys, take it easy here.
But I actually want to bring up some of them. So this is not the first time that they've blown leads like that. They did it twice at MSI where they had at least 3,000 plus gold leads going into the 30-minute mark. They've also had games where they've come back. There was like 3 or 4 games where they've come back from leads like that past the 30-minute mark. The one thing, though, that I'm looking at when I look at the international games that happen in MSI, about half of their games, they had leads at the 30-minute mark. And about half of them. So at the international wild card, it was 14
it was 10 out of 17. So a little
10
more
out of 17. So a little more than 10. And I look at here and I go, to me that tells me at least 1 game they're not going to have a lead. Probably 2 to get us more back to their average. And this is just international play. This isn't looking at the wild card region that they play in, because I don't think that is appropriate competition to be looking at.
Oh, come on now.
I'm going to keep saying it until they prove me wrong. Sorry.
They did last year. That's called getting 2 teams in the top 8. You're not allowed to just wipe that tournament away.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And when they went 7-3 at the MSI, that did not happen either. And then when they were second place at MSI,
and then lost 3-1 to CLG, and they lost 3-1. Was it 3-0 or 3-1 in the quarterfinals last year?
The quarterfinals last year, they were playing. Who did they play in the quarterfinals last year? Now you're tripping me.
I don't remember, but they may have won 1 game. That was not a close series.
The moral of the story is, are they a top 4 team? No. Are they a top 8 team? The stats say probably they should be. At the World Championship last year, it was 1-3 to Origin, by the way.
1-3 to Origin.
Just for those of you who are curious. But this is a team, they have played extremely well on the world stage before. They have a lot of experience. MSI was mostly positive things. What you have to look at is what kind of teams did they lose to? They lost to CLG more often than they won. It was overall, you would look at that and you'd say they went 2-4 against CLG in the 6 games that they played. CLG was a very, they played around, Aframu obviously in the bot lane, Xmithy being a playmaker. It was a very nice meta for Darshan. He was making a ton of plays in the top lane, and that really threw this team off because their top lane has never been their strength. When you look at IME, who's the team we're talking about here, That's not the kind of team we're describing. Amazing J is not a great top laner. Avoidless has been aimless, I would say, in a lot of these games so far.
I would agree.
Jin Zhao and Road are a very weak bot lane. I'd say they're the weakest bot lane in this group.
Don't worry, this isn't the game I think Flash Wolves is going to lose. Like,
I'm not saying they are.
I don't want to imagine that.
I want to just. This whole group is defined by this Flash Wolves narrative, for better or for worse. Because the other narrative is SKT the tournament favorites, and I think you and I both decidedly agreed yes. When we did our preview, when we talked about it last week, the week 1 recap. Like, it's not. That story is pretty clear. That story's been told. There's nothing new about that story. This Flash Wolves story, who's going to get the second seed, that's the narrative that we need to talk about. And we need to talk about it from that side of things. We talk about it from the Cloud9 side of things. But both of them have to play Ime. And Ime doesn't look poised to play well against either of these teams.
Cloud9 needs 1 win to force a tiebreaker against Flash Wolves. Like, that's the narrative that's going on. Flash Wolves
needs 2.
They need 2 wins to get to 3-3. Like, that's probably what's going to happen. But for this game, no, I don't have Ime beating Flash Wolves in my mind. I don't think that is going to happen. It's not going to be another 45-minute long slugfest that Flash Wolves doesn't know how to close out, and Ime just gets to late game them. I have Flash Wolves at -155.
All right, I get this one. I said Flash Wolves -180. It's -175. So
Fair.
It dropped a whole 5 points from what it was before. I just guessed what it was the previous time.
I didn't want to do that. I thought it was going to be a little lower.
Which is fair. I mean, look, the 5-point drop is, again, it's a logarithmic scale, so it's more significant in decimals than you might think, given how wide some of the gaps become as it goes on. Logarithms are weird that way.
Mm-hmm.
Ime is +135 as the underdog. I really don't like Ime after what we saw in week 1. I certainly don't like Ime after what we're seeing from EDG. I have genuine concerns about these Chinese teams and how they're going to hold up when they have to prepare for a second week of games. We hear enough behind the scenes about Chinese prep culture. I mean, we'll see how Royal does it on Saturday, and by that I mean you guys have already seen how Royal did it on Saturday, so you can tell us when you get your time travel machine to when we record this podcast.
Absolutely.
But it'll be we're going to move on to what's going on right now. Cloud9 versus SK Telecom. Does Cloud9 have a path to victory here? Because we learned God's Complete.
Not a
Flash
chance.
Wolves,
Nope.
Flash Wolves
Nope.
beat this team.
Nope.
Can't.
Nope. 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 The 3-man core of Cloud9, top, mid, and solo jungle are not as good talent-wise as Flash Wolves, top, mid, and jungle. There you go. I just gave Flash Wolves a compliment. Congratulations. Meteos, and it's Meteos versus Karsa. That's really where it comes from.
Yeah.
Meteos is nowhere near Karsa. I don't think he can put even close to 75% of the pressure that Karsa is able to put on the map. I think SKT is going to go with Bengi. I think Kakoma realizes I got to go with my workhorse. I got to go with the guy that's gotten me to a world championship 2 other times. He has a great synergy with Faker. I still have my Nunu prop bet that's sitting out there that Nunu has to be played at this tournament. Come on, Bengi. Just one game. Play it against Ime for all I care. Play it top lane. Go play top lane and have Duke. Like, this should be a no-brainer for Kakoma and SKT that Bengi is just the right jungler for this team. You tried Blank. If you want to give him the offseason to try and work on stuff and come back, in the spring split with him, I'm totally okay with that. But there is no reason for you guys to stay with Blank at all. Not here. And either way, I don't think Meteos is good enough to punish either of them. That's just not his play style. He's not going to get Zac. His Lee Sin's been mediocre. His Rek'Sai was okay. His Elise is okay. His Olaf was okay.
He would need to somehow bring out this amazing Nidalee, and if he had it, I think he would have done it by now.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's certainly not poised for success here. And the thing that you have to remember, right? Like, even if you like Impact over Duke, which some people will argue like that's a lane that Cloud9 can win.
It's 50-50.
But it's the 2v2 is going to be so huge here because Bengi ganks for all of his lanes in a very supportive style. Bengi is very happy to give up resources to get the rest of them going. That's what he does. It's the reason that you make the Nunu prop bet, right? Which I wonder if the Reddit post that hit the front page of Nunu is a crappy champion that needs to be reworked helped or hurt. Like, I could see Banky taking that very personally and saying, "You think Rudy's crap? Oh, I'll show you. Don't you dare say that about my."
I say this, but like that's not the two champions that he's picked for his skins. He's picked Lee Sin and Elise.
No, he's not. I mean, it's not going to be a thing, but we can dream. Hashtag the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cloud9 fans, look, you gotta have something to believe in. I don't blame you for, anyone who tries to work in the argument that there's a chance here.
Mm-hmm.
I just get the feeling that this is a bad matchup head to head, because Cloud9's biggest strength is Jensen and his ability to carry from the mid lane on things like Syndra. And if you don't think that Faker has a counter to that, even if they let Jensen get a champion that he likes, I don't know where you've been for the last 3 years of League of Legends. Walter, where's the line?
I have SKT at -450.
See, I got this one exactly. I said SKT -400. It is -400. And with that, I regained the lead, however temporarily, in our contest.
Oh, see, you say that, now I feel better. I feel better that you say that.
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is gonna be a slight spoiler. I'm mad at you about this next line. I'm genuinely mad at you.
You're mad at me, huh?
I'm upset.
Huh?
I feel hurt. I feel betrayed. This line, by the way, it's Cloud9 versus Flash Wolves.
I think if I was the LMS, I would feel more hurt by you, Chase.
I think that we need to have a very frank conversation about how you just went on this entire rant about how you don't trust Flash Wolves. You don't think they're going to be able to hold up. Cloud9 won the last time these two teams played. And if the argument is that Flash Wolves can't maintain that level, then Cloud9 should be able to surpass it, right? What am I missing? Why do you have Flash Wolves favored?
So who was favored last time they played Chase?
Flash Wolves, but they lost.
Yep. And
you're allowed to adjust to that.
And I counted for them losing, and I brought it down. That's what I did. I brought it down in what I thought was an acceptable drop-off that the casinos would have, despite the loss, and despite the fact that then Cloud9 then went on and beat SKT in fairly convincing fashion.
Or you mean Flash Wolves beat SKT?
Or Flash Wolves beat SKT, yes, in fairly convincing fashion. I think I made the correct adjustments.
I mean, you did make the correct adjustments. That's why I'm mad at you.
Well,
but okay, so here's what I'm trying to understand. Is it just a North America thing? Because if we were looking at any other group, and we looked at the other groups, right? Mm-hmm. When G2 lost the way they did, and then CLG was 2-1.
Yeah.
CLG got a huge bump from what we saw in week 1. They adjusted for the fact that North America did really well.
Yeah.
Group D, it's kind of hard to see the adjustments because all of these teams are super close, but TSM still got bumps for the games that they won.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud9 is 2-1.
I think, though,
their lines are still not in their favor.
I think, though, that the problem is the algorithm is the algorithm that Unicorn uses is taking into account that like Flash Wolves should technically be 3-0. I just feel like somewhere in the math they calculate gold and they calculate differential and they calculate a bunch of stuff to figure out, okay, who's supposed to win. And Flash Wolves in a 70-minute game had a lead for a majority of it and took a lot of different objectives and took a lot of CS and all these things that would then point to like in a mathematical situation, like, holy crap, like Flash Wolves has all of this stuff. They had all that stuff against IMA. It would make sense that it would still point to Flash Wolves in a mathematical formula of being favorites here.
I understand.
I felt like I adjusted it enough.
I just felt like there would be enough people and maybe this is what happens when I spend most of my league time talking to you, is I get all the panic. Like when we talked on on Twitch, you were panicked when we did our live stream. When I text you during the week, you're giving me all this I don't trust him. We have to spend an hour breaking down the advanced metrics.
I don't trust him, but Unicorn knows there's 1,000 people like me that don't trust him.
But Unicorn's bets should take that into account. And if people don't trust Flash Wolves, why would the money not be moving to Cloud9?
Because they're afraid of making Flash Wolves the underdog and the 2 losses being aberrations and that the statistics are completely correct. And you are 100% that in the 2 games they lost, they led out of 102. They led 102 out of 117 minutes. That's what they're scared of.
I understand that, but the bettors, the line's been out for a few days now, right? Like all of these lines, they've had time to adjust. If the gamblers believed that Cloud9 was where the smart money went. If they thought, like you,
because
that
the
Flash Wolves,
second Cloud9 goes favorites, all the money goes on to Flash Wolves. That's what I would do. If Flash Wolves ever became the underdog in this, I'd be gambling on Flash Wolves.
Yeah. Well,
that is the smart money is like, yeah, we don't trust Flash Wolves, but at the same time, if they go underdog against Cloud9, all the money swings. And everyone bets on Flash Wolves.
They're a Pool 1 team. They were ahead in all 3 of those games. It's amazing. All of the evidence that I've been using to defend them to you is now being used against me, and I hate it. I feel like a bad Taiwanese fan.
Should we tell them the line so everyone understands why we're saying that? I
thought they were visible by now.
No, I do. I click them when we say it.
Oh, I apologize.
So I said Flash Wolves minus 125.
Chase said Cloud9 minus 150. I thought
right.
It's Flash Wolves minus 130. You got it almost exactly. It's Cloud9 at even odds.
In all honesty, I thought you were going to say something like Flash Wolves minus 133, and it was going to be even. That is actually why I went at minus 125. Because I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to be too high on them, and it was going to be like even odds.
No, I went the opposite direction.
You did. You surprised me.
Look, it's a Western book. I just thought that they'd have faith in the Western teams. I don't know.
102 of 117 minutes. LMS, it's the Flash Wolves. They're so much better than Cloud9.
DJ Khaled is looking at me and saying, "Congratulations, you played yourself."
Oh, look, we're tied again.
I just mind gamed myself out of the right pick. I knew to trust Flash Wolves. I still like this team. I still have this team getting out of groups. I haven't backed out on that, even because as we've been seeing so far this week, junglers make the difference, and I think Karza is potentially the best jungler in this group, or should be if he's playing well.
When I saw that, I just had the biggest grin on my face because I convinced Chase to abandon his own region. It's amazing. It made me so happy.
Oh my god!
I was like, he's gonna be in for a shock.
I was literally I believe the text I sent you was, "I'm so tilted." That was just the 3 words. As soon as I saw that you did that, I'm like, you have been mind gaming me for this entire week just to get that point. And you know what? Yeah. I bow to a skill far defter than my own. You earned the point.
The greatest skill that someone who debates other people can have is being a devil's advocate, because it means you get to see both sides. And if you can argue the side opposite of your own, it makes your own argument stronger because you know what they're going to say.
It's amazing. Like, we've been... Oh, God, I can't.
Sound advice for potential presidential candidates preparing for a debate later on. Just so you know, if you know what your opponent is going to say, it makes your job that much easier because you already know what you're going to respond with.
No, it clearly means that they got the questions ahead of time, because there's no way. It's not like we have hundreds of debates that we could look up on camera and figure out what kind of questions would be asked, or watch the news at any time. That's about as political as this podcast is going to get.
I think I know what the next question is.
How high should this SKT versus IMA line go?
I mean, it's not going to be the highest line that we've seen at the tournament because we had wildcard teams play against Rocks. So
we had some minus 10,000s there. We had minus 10,000 for INTZ versus EDG, which actually came through for INTZ.
And IMA is from China, which is a power region, which in theory should be closer to Korea, period. Anyways, they're closer locationally. They're closer in terms, sometimes they play on each other's servers.
I'm not sure that location affects the line. Really is what
it absolutely doesn't. I'm just drawing parallels between why China and Korea are closer than Korea and Russia or China and fair. Brazil.
Look, China, it's a real region. This is a real team, and they're
real underdogs.
They're still real underdogs. I mean, look, Albus Nox Luna is the exception, not the rule. Most underdog stories do not come true. That's why they're called underdog stories. If they all came true, they'd be called favorites.
No one on IMA has Liquid's long hair, so they can't pretend to be Cinderella.
Yeah, you just tilted River, who from esports wikis, that I got the name right this time, who just begged everyone yesterday, please do not call Albus Nox a Cinderella story. because that implies that there was some magic that got
They
them
were
to
the
win.
16th ranked team in power rankings across the board. No one expected them to do anything, and they're now in the quarterfinals. It is a Cinderella story.
Magic.
Sorry.
It was hard work, dedication, and not some fairy godmother turning them into a good team.
Absolutely correct.
Well,
but
that's
you know
the story
what?
of Cinderella.
The news media, we still call it a Cinderella story because it was unexpected.
Cinderella, look, this is a controversial opinion. Cinderella is a bad movie. She does not earn anything that she's given. We're just supposed to feel bad for her.
Is Cinderella a bad movie, or is a Cinderella story a bad movie?
Yes. Yes. The answer to that question is yes.
For those of you who don't know, A Cinderella Story is a movie with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray, I think, where she's...
I have a hard time not liking everything. Like, she is the epitome of my guilty pleasure. Like, anything that Hilary Duff was in.
That and Avril Lavigne. There you go. 90s kids remember.
Yeah, Avril Lavigne for sure. I will admit that I still have the lyrics to the Lizzie McGuire movie theme song memorized to this day.
That's the one where she's like the fake pop star in Italy, not a Cinderella story.
Absolutely.
I almost confused the two.
I mean, look, it's got an 11% of the tomato meter. And I could be talking about either movie. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know just from that.
Hilary Duff's in it. She plays someone above her station for part of the movie. Like, you know, there's a hot guy in it. Whatever. It's like every 90s girl's dream fantasy movie. Yeah, it's all good. See, this is another group we don't want to talk about, so we talk about random stuff. And instead of Disney, it's Hilary Duff.
Where's the line on SKT versus Walter? We're going to do a Hilary Duff, Avril Lavigne podcast another time.
No, we won't. It's SKT minus 750.
Okay, I got this one. I said SKT minus 500. It's minus 526. Oh, man. Okay. Well, look, now that we have the League of Legends anime trailer, we're allowed to argue who's the best waifu. So we're allowed to have these kinds of conversations now on League of Legends podcast. That's how this works, right?
Nope, I'm done. Nope.
Are you saying you didn't listen to the Japanese version?
It's obviously Jinx. We don't need to have any argument. Let's move on.
It absolutely is Jinx. I'm glad. Look, this is why we're podcast partners. We agree on the important things. We might disagree on things like Flash Wolves or, you know, how good the LMS is as a region.
A Cinderella story was horrible. So was the Lizzie McGuire movie, and Jinx is waifu. Got it.
There we go. That's the essentials in life. That's really what it comes down to. Aimee versus Cloud9. This is...
I can't even be serious anymore.
I mean, look, is there anything to say about Aimee? Like, this is the thing. I feel like I've gotten you on my side here. I did not think Aimee was going to be good going into this. I don't like rewatching all the Aimee games. It made me feel harsher on this team, if anything. Like, I feel worse about this team than I would agree.
Did. Yeah, I would agree.
There's nothing they do well. Like, if you had to point to, like, what's Aimee's strength? What would Aimee do if they were to beat Cloud9? What does that look like?
Athena?
I guess, like, Athena
I think you have to play through Athena and just have better macro strategy.
You'd have to make Athena a main carry, which they've been very hesitant to make their mid, to play around their mid lane. Their AD carries are not going to be the carry.
No.
I don't think you can trust Amazing J on something like a Jace, which is what he's want to do. That's what they've been doing, is putting him on those kind of things.
I think it's Amazing J and Athena. I think you go with the 3As. You need to call AAA here, guys. You need to go with the 3As. Jinzhou is not going to do anything.
Broken down on the road. That's what we know for a fact. So AAA.
Thank you for catching that.
You're welcome. I'm here for you, buddy.
I set it up and you just knocked it down like all of China's hopes and dreams. Right out of the park.
Oh, man.
I think they have to play through the mid, top, and jungle. I think you really have to try and win that.
Okay, so you're expecting Athena now has to outplay Jensen.
Nope.
Which did not happen.
Not going to happen.
You're expecting Amazing J to outplay Impact. Also probably not going to happen.
I mean,
it's not likely to happen.
It's like 60-40 in Impact's favor.
Yeah, it's in play, but then...
It's like Jensen is 70% and Athena's 30%, and then it goes 60-40 for the top lane, and then for jungle, it is, I don't want to watch either of these guys play, can we just take them off the riff and play 4v4?
Right, and then you realize that Sneaky can just kill Jin Zhao anytime he wants.
Yeah.
And that Rhodes' positioning is worse than Smoothies has been at this tournament.
Yeah.
Neither of which are good signs. So, where did you think the line was, Walter?
Again, I was very tempered in my adjustments on Cloud9.
You were.
I had Cloud9 at minus 150.
See, this is why you're going to win this point. I went the exact opposite direction with Cloud9. I thought that people were going to give them a boost because they went 2-1. I was wrong. I said minus 240. Cloud9 minus 130.
That's some good Cloud9 odds.
Some great Cloud9.
That's some great Cloud9. That's like great Cloud9 odds and no odds on IMA. Like that's terrible odds for IMA.
Yeah, IMA really, if you were hoping for some underdog. But I just want to point out the line the first time they played was like Cloud9 minus 125.
Yeah.
And so after winning that game and IMA looking as poor as they did over the course of the week, the line shifted a whole 5 points.
Yeah.
I would say that is a harsh either underreaction to IMA's week or a really harsh underreaction to what Cloud9 did.
I think it's the algorithm that they were behind so much in the Flash Wolves game and they got trounced by SKT that the algorithm just isn't very kind to them right now. That's what I think. That's why I think the lines are
supposed to be the fix. Like that's supposed to be like the line goes out, and if the gambler's like minus 130 seems like amazing odds for Cloud9.
I'll put it to you though. Do you really want to bet on this game? Like, are you 100%? Like, we say that's great odds for Cloud9, but
I'm pretty close. I would bet minus 130. I'd bet on Cloud9. Absolutely.
I would too, but are there enough people out there that would really bet on Cloud9 to pull it that much higher? I think this is a stay-away game. I think this is a stay-away game for most people. I think this is a stay-away, and it's not North American. It's Western. It's Western.
Flash Wolves versus Cloud9 is a stay-away game. That's a game I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. That's the definition of a stay-away game to me. The fact that Flash Wolves are as favored over Cloud9 as Cloud9 is over IMA, that's weird to me.
I feel like, though, this could be a trap game, and Cloud9 would have a ton of pressure on them and could just fall flat. That's a chance here.
That would be such a terrible way for Cloud9 to fall out of this group, is if they somehow, Flash Wolves, gets the win over them, and then they lose to they have to, it's a must win against IMA. Or even if they beat Flash Wolves, lose to IMA, and Flash Wolves get 2 more wins. Also, no, they're going to get the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So it looks like a trap game, but there are very few situations. Either they've already lost to Flash Wolves, in which case the IMA game is not likely to matter unless you think Flash Wolves are going to beat SKT a second time, which is what we're about to talk about last year.
Right.
Or it doesn't matter because they've already beaten Flash Wolves, and there's no way they can really blow it by that point because they hold the tiebreaker.
So the game doesn't matter, and it would be a perfect time for IMA to win, just like it didn't matter for Albus Nox Luna, and G2 got a win.
Well, except it did matter for Albus Nox Luna. I'm still disappointed in their draft.
It didn't. They qualified.
They would have had the
but they would have had the 1 seed. Yep, I totally agree.
That means avoiding SKT.
EDG potentially, or
H2K at this rate. I don't
know.
It
could be H2K, and then hey man, I'd play against H2K if I was Albus Nox. Like that seems like a perfect matchup.
This is a weird world.
And you're saying Cloud9, nothing would be worse than not getting in because you lose to IMA. I'm pretty sure CLG losing to a wildcard team after beating Rocks is probably worse.
They look.
Let's be honest.
It happened twice, so it's CLG's kryptonite. I don't know.
Speaking of twice,
we're gonna talk about all those teams in our stream, but we got to finish this up. Flash Wolves SKT.
Twice.
Can Flash Wolves over the course of the year now have a 3-0 record over SKT? If you take it back to last year at Worlds, it's 5-0 over Korean teams. They are the Korea killers, and have been for a year now. Walter, is there just? I mean, the answer that people are really, what they're really looking to find out is there something inherent about SKT that makes it so that they are personally weak to Flash Wolves, or is there something about the way Flash Wolves is built that counters this Korean system? And we do see in Korea more than even most other regions, there is a homogenized system in place of how they like to play the game. So which direction do you see it coming from?
I will say in all 5 of those games, a weaker jungler has played against Karsa.
Yeah.
Bengi is not a strong jungler. I'm not saying that he's stronger than Wisdom or Hojin or whoever was starting for Peanut during Worlds last year. I'm not saying he's a stronger mechanical player than Blank. But I think he is a stronger jungler, and he has stronger synergy with Faker, which is really important because Maple is one of the few people on the planet that I think can match up against Faker 1v1. Mm-hmm. So when you have an advantage like Karsa that's coming in and he can outplay someone like Blank because they don't quite have the right synergy, because Karsa and Maple's synergy is fantastic. They are really in sync. They're constantly backing each other up when they're making aggressive plays. It's really synergistic.
Yes.
Faker does not have that with Blank. Faker does have that with Bengi. And Bengi is that guy that when they joined the team together, the story is they both were the same type of guy, and Faker was struggling, and Bengi's heart wept for his friend, and he changed everything about his play style to become Faker's Pippin.
See, you're not allowed to say the Sens wept for his friend like that, and then say that you're above this whole anime Star Guardians thing we've been having come out. That fits in so well to the anime plot line.
I have no idea
that I'm going to build.
No, that's
when
just
Tencent
like
sells the rights.
That's like a stereotypical like Captain America theme with him and the Winter Soldier. That's so
which
stereotypical.
scene was the one where he said, "My heart wept for him"? Which superhero?
I don't know. How about the one where he's like, he's my friend, and Tony Stark is like, "You were my friend too." Tell me that's not my heart weeps for you status. This is like a buddy cop movie. It's like literally anything else outside of anime is included in this, of best friends being like, I need to sacrifice something for my best friend.
I maybe I'm being a little harsh on your wordage. I maybe jumped a little bit too much.
If anything, it'd be like a romantic comedy or something. Like,
look, they're 2-time world champions. Like it's they have that kind of passion for each other. We're in the trilogy, really. I mean, well, actually, if you're looking at a movie series, right? It's the first movie was amazing. Mm-hmm. Second movie kind of rehashed a lot of the same things. Didn't do very well. Third movie was revitalized, added in a new side character or two, really got the franchise back on track, and now we're in movie 4. That's where we are with SKT.
I'm trying to think where can I go with a comparison, because the 4th movie in trilogy in multiple series so we're talking it's either Phantom Menace or it's the first Hobbit. It's an Unexpected Journey, and both of those are pretty.
I mean, you could have jumped to Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire is mediocre. I mean,
that's also a mediocre movie.
What's the 4th Star Trek movie? That they all are mediocre after Wrath of Khan.
The 4th one's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, no.
It does feel like this is a tournament at which an okay team is going to win. I don't none of these teams. The fact that no one went 3-0 last week, on the one hand, it makes for a lot of fun for awesome. People who just enjoy the tournament. It is so exciting, and you'll get people like Thorin who are complaining. It's like, oh man, best of ones.
Time out. Thorin also thinks that Hui is a decent mid laner and deserves a very long mid-table career in the LCS.
Look,
so I'm gonna take his thoughts with a grain of salt on that.
He has this theory that if we played more tournaments like Counter-Strike, we wouldn't see all these upsets. And he says the word upsets the same way we would say cockroach. It's just something that he doesn't want. He is a person who wants to see the best team win every game, every time.
I agree.
That's how he's wired.
Hi there.
And if you're wired that way, this Worlds has been a little bit disappointing because that's not been what's happened. However, if you're wired the way we are, you want to have fun, you want to just see the most exciting games, this has been the Worlds for you. And this is a game where Flash Wolves could do it again. It's one of those things. It seems beyond comprehension that a team as good as SK Telecom could lose to the same team twice. But as you said, Maple and Karsa are really synergistic. And as good as Bengi is playing with Faker, he also has to make sure that Duke is doing well in his lane. NL, everyone thought that NL was going to be this player that really hurt them. But not only has NL played decently enough, Sword Art has looked amazing. Sword Art has looked absolutely
fantastic.
Incredible.
They've had 4 fantastic players and one all right player.
Yeah. You can't And that's kind of alternated between NL and MMD personally. Yeah. I just, if you're SKT, like usually you just put Wolf on Alistar, but you're on red side this time. I think you have to ban Alistar. I don't think you can let Sword Art play it.
I'd almost set it up and let Nidalee through and say Alistar and Nidalee.
I mean, I think that Flash Wolves is okay. I think Karza is happy.
Especially if Benki's on the other side, you're like, okay, I'll take Alistar here. Yeah. Are you going to play Nidalee against me? And then
the Nidalee ban against Benki was the worst ban of last week because Benki has played 0 professional games. You can't fake that.
I have what if Flash Wolves wins this game, and the very first team to draw their quarterfinal seed is Rocks Tigers, and they reach in, and the lights just all burst in the arena. It's like bring out emergency power, and Smeb sticks his hand in, and he just pulls the head of Easy Hoon out, and it's like, oh, I guess we're against SKT. Well, that's foreboding, wouldn't you say?
I think any head being pulled out. First of all, how did that head get in there? Second of all, I thought Easy Hoon was making Skrilla in China.
Halloween Town magic, man. Halloween Town magic. Marty just went and cast a spell.
Should we send some bodyguards over to Easy Hoon just to make sure he's okay? Like, I just want to make sure.
You just see Reggie in his robe, like Palpatine style, at the back, like, good, yes. That'd be the most disappointing timeline, though, if Flash Wolves knock SKT into, like, the 2nd seed and SKT and Rocks play each other in the quarterfinals. That'd be really disappointing.
That would suck. And I say that as a Flash Wolves fan. I don't think that Flash Wolves going 3-0, I think, is overzealous. I think it's hard to imagine them playing as well as they did all 3 games, especially now that people have some film of them. I expect them to go 2-1. The key is going to be which one of those they lose. Because if they drop it to Cloud9, then 2-1 is not enough. Yeah. If they drop it to SKT or IME, they get the play-in game, and I feel a lot better about that. But but that leads us to the final question, Walter. With us tied at 27 right now, who's going to have the lead going to the quarterfinals? Where'd you put the line?
SKT minus 450.
I said SKT minus 500. It is SKT minus 303.
Yeah, baby!
So this is where I get mad at the casinos. Okay, so walk me through this logic. We are not going to overreact to Flash Wolves losing to Cloud9.
Correct.
Because the numbers say that they're going to be just fine.
Correct.
We're not going to overreact to Cloud9 beating IME because the numbers say that Cloud9 probably isn't going to, be some amazing badass team just based off of this one game.
Yep.
But we are going to move the line 200 points. 200 points from the last time these two teams played based on one game. Really? That's what it takes? Like, how is this line? Like, I would have understood if it was minus 400 and I lost by 50 points. How is it at minus 303?
Well, you see, Chase, because Flash Wolves should be 3-0, and they beat SKT.
If that was true, if that's the theory, then Flash Wolves should be favored, right? Is that the logical conclusion? Like, come on.
I mean, they can't go that far. They still lost 2 games. Come on.
I hate this line. I hate it so much, mostly because I can't get any. Flash Wolves plus 220 is not the value I wanted.
It's not the value you wanted, but it's still good value for a team that's gone 3-0 against SKT in its last 2 tournaments.
Well, it was Rocks Tigers that they beat. Well, 3-0 against SKT.
MSI, yep. And yeah, so that's still great odds. Like, the fact that they're favorites or that they're underdogs at all against a team that they've gone 3-0 against is like unheard of. It's ridiculous. And if they went 3-0, they would probably be favorites in this game. But
I just want to point out that you're acting like this line makes sense when you were 150 points off. Like, you weren't any closer to getting this right.
Again, here's the thing, though. So, I knew you were going to go high at SKT. I knew you were still going to go high. I thought you were going to be like 470. I thought you were going to say 475 or 450. I didn't realize you were going to go to 500. I'm just expanding.
You have this 1-point lead right now. You stopped playing the casino. You started playing me.
I'm playing both. I played you in this group because I knew I knew you were going to react one way or another to Flash Wolves, and I spent the entire last week convincing you to overreact and feel like Flash Wolves were going to be under favored. So
I hate everything about this podcast, except for the fact that even with all of those negative things happening, I still managed to go even with you on the day, which means the lead does not extend. That's all I needed to do is keep it within one.
Yeah.
We've got 4 quarterfinals, 2 semifinals, and 1 final series. So there are 7 more points up for grabs. It's going to be a very close challenge.
We need to put something in. We need to put the win-loss record of the finals in for a tiebreaker, because that would really be awful if we tied.
Yeah, well, we'll figure that out.
Figure something out.
I will say, and we're going to figure out when we're going to do the recap stream this week. I want to do it on Monday, Tuesday probably at the latest. The key is doing it earlier in the day. So if you guys have thoughts like when would you like to see us live stream, this would be a perfect chance to contact us on our many different social media accounts. You can contact me personally at RedShirtKing if you have any thoughts on anything I've said. Walter, where can the nice people at home find you?
You guys can find me at Ceades_LOL. And in the spirit of Chase giving out our email from yesterday, you guys can also find me at my new email, secretlmsfan122 at hotmail.com.
I thought you were going to go AOL or either way. I love it. I you know what? I know you're reverse jinxing the Flash Wolves, but I'm going to take it anyway. Just let it all come in. You can be the positive, I'll be the negative, and together we'll see what happens. This whole world has been so impossible to pick. You can also, of course, follow the podcast at Rough Drafts Pod. That's where we do all our live tweeting, which hopefully you guys have been enjoying. That's where you're going to get all of the official news of the pod right away. So definitely make sure you stay tuned there. You should also follow us on all of our youtube.com/ if you look up the Rough Drafts podcast on there, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where all the VODs are if you like seeing our pretty little faces when we do these kinds of things and make Hillary Duff references. Of course, you can also, just if you like the audio version only, soundcloud.com/esportsroughdrafts, iTunes if you search Rough Drafts under the podcast section. All of those subscriptions mean a lot, and it really does help all of the algorithms out and help get more people notice this podcast. So if you enjoy it and you want more people to know about it, that's a very easy thing you can do. It's just one click. And I do try to read all the comments that you guys make, and it means a lot when you guys take the time. So Thank you guys so much for listening. Please do let us know what you would prefer as far as timing goes for the stream. We're going to try to accommodate more people this time around, give you guys that notice. We will let you know via social media, probably Twitter. So if you don't have a Twitter account, set an alert to our twitch.tv/Rough Drafts podcast, right?
That's correct.
People could just follow us there and they'll know when we go live that way.
Exactly. It'll send you a nice little email.
Look at all these wonderful, we're so social media savvy, Walter. Isn't that great?
Man. Technology, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
You know what else is a wonderful thing? We get to end this podcast and go watch Talkers play Aurelion Sol against H2K.
You know what's even better? I have a 1-point lead on you.
Goodbye, Internet.